Welcome to the No Limits podcast with your host, Willy.
All right. This is No Limits, episode number 12, I believe. We got Robert Drysdale, professor, the master, the coach, the legendary Robert Drysdale. Welcome to the podcast, Robert.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
I'm glad to have you, man. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, and a lot of the guys that you've cornered and trained and Jiu Jitsu, all that good stuff. I don't want to talk about all the crap that's been going on. We're going to do a little different thing, and this is going to be a quick episode. You got a class to attend to and get going. That beard is legendary, man. I'm so jealous of that damn beard.
Thank you.
This is the best I can do, man. It's just like my whole adulthood trying to grow a beard. Years and years.
Yeah, man. I had nothing until I was like 27, 28, and then it just started growing like it's crazy, man.
Oh, really?
I had like close to nothing. Yeah, like very, very little.
Damn. Did you do anything special? What happened, man? I need some.
No, man. Just not really. Not really. Started like at late, But
damn.
Yeah. I get hair on my ears and neck and on my back too now. So
oh yeah,
I guess
too,
it's
the older I get,
associated
the more
with
hair.
that. Yeah. all the wrong places too.
Oh yeah, for sure. What are your predictions for the fights tomorrow night, man? I'm excited about this card. Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker. Who do you got in that fight?
Honestly, man, I've been so out of the loop with this week because of everything that's going on, and I got so much work to do. I haven't looked at the news. I'm not even following, man. I apologize.
Oh, wow.
If I say something, I'm gonna speak out of my ass because my head's been somewhere else. I'm working on multiple projects right now. I got a book I'm working on. I got a documentary I'm working on. I got a fight team I'm trying to get off the ground. I'm switching managements at the gym. I'm starting a manufacturing company for our gear. Got kids this week, so things been a little hectic. I apologize.
Oh no, you're good, man. This has been a crazy week for you. I do want to ask you about the documentary. That's the Vale Tudo and Jiu Jitsu documentary.
Yeah.
What's the name of that?
It's called Closed Guard, The Origins of Jiu Jitsu in Brazil.
Okay. Awesome.
And it talks about the birth of, because the story of BJJ and MMA, they correlate, right? Like MMA or Vale Tudo was used as a vehicle, not only for the Gracie brothers, but for a lot of other Brazilians to promote themselves. Remember, you couldn't open a school during those days. The only way to make money was fighting in circuses and in arenas. And Vale Tudo, later rebranded MMA, became a way of selling that, right? So our documentary talks about the origins of all of this, talks about Japanese immigration and how the first practitioners were challenged by local Brazilians, and how the whole scene right there, what's going on in the background, and how did these two arts evolve. We're very proud of this. We've been working on it for 3 years. It's been a lot of work, but there's nothing out like that. If you're like, what are you going to look into the history of MMA? And, a lot of times you end up finding people talking about ancient Greece and whatever. And it was very similar to what we do today, but there's no lineage. That's not where we trace our history. We trace our history back to the first quarter, second quarter of the 20th century in Brazil, right? Primarily the rivalry between capoeira, the Japanese judokas, catch wrestlers, Brazilians that were learning from all these immigrants. So that's where the UFC comes from. That's the origin of the UFC. This whole story started about 100 years ago.
Wow, that's really cool, man. I'm looking forward to that. You guys have anybody's interested in buying it yet, or are y'all still in the early stages of all that?
No, we're close to finishing. We're going to launch it on our own website. We're going to keep control of it, at least for now. Our website is closedguardfilm.com. And we should be done before the end of the summer. That's the plan. Like, we're making a push to finish before then. And I think that, I think that the end result will be an archival film. Like, that's what we're really striving for. Like, people 50 years from now want to reference the origins of our art, unless they want to read 8,000 pages of academic work, they're going to watch our documentary.
Yeah, documentaries are always easier just to watch it.
That's why I did it. That was the motivation to begin with, because I knew people weren't going to read everything that was published on it. Like, you know what? We got to create a bridge between this incredible research by all these historians and the general public.
Yeah. What's the book that you're working on?
It's a book about the documentary. I'm using a lot of material that didn't make it into the documentary.
Okay.
Some of my own conclusions, like the story behind the production and how it came about. It's a short book, like not even 200 pages, maybe more once I add some of the extra, like the appendix and all that. But it's the story behind the documentary and some of my own conclusions regarding the history of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts. It's basically my memoirs of all of this and the process of the research. And, I think it's a pretty cool story, so many people agree and hopefully people will like it.
Yeah, for sure. I love that kind of stuff. It's like more of an in-depth thing with your documentary. And being a father, I'm sure your kids are going to really dig that crap later on too, man. That stuff's awesome.
Oh, yeah, it's funny because I was writing the book and I'm writing the dedication, right? And they were right next to me. I forgot they were right next to me. Like, oh, Daddy, you're so cute. You're dedicating the book to us. I'm like, that was supposed to be a surprise, but they're pretty excited about that.
How old are your kids?
7 and 9.
7 and 9. Mine are about the same. I got 8 and 6 little girls.
Yeah, good age. Yeah, same thing.
Oh, you got girls too? You got the curse, huh?
Yeah, well, you got to stay sharp with the boxing and the jiu-jitsu. You got to keep it sharp for another 20-some years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I fear for their boyfriends, man. Whenever you get the book done or the documentary done, I'd like to get you back on so we can go into more in-depth talk. We'll cut this one short. I'm going to jump to our little 6 questions, and I'll cut you loose, man, so you can get ready for the class.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
Number 1, what movie can you watch over and over without ever getting tired of?
Inglourious Bastards.
Ooh, I'm right there with you. I love that one.
Yeah, it's a great one.
I
like Tarantino.
I do too, man. I love his damn movies. They're so awesome.
You know what? I could go without the blood, man. Like, it's too much blood. I don't know what it is with that guy in blood. But he has an ability to create like really interesting characters, man. And it's a combination of a great story while being funny, great writing. Like, he just puts it all together really well.
Yeah,
the
dialogue is always so great. What did you think of his Western one that he put out towards the end?
Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight, yeah. Did you like that one?
I liked it. I thought it wasn't my favorite. I wouldn't rank it on my top 4 Tarantino movies, but
yeah,
it was good. I liked it. Like, I mean, I've seen it like 3 times, so clearly I enjoyed it. It's interesting that the whole film takes place in like one place, pretty much. Exactly. I think that, I mean, certainly it was intentional, but the dialogues are great. The characters are still great. I liked it. It was probably like the least lauded of all his films, but his characters got so much personality, man. Like, how can you not like it?
Yeah, I love that one personally. The more I watch it, the more I like it. The more I see things in it, I'm like, damn, this movie's badass.
Yeah,
there's so much good stuff in it. All right, number 2, what's the best practical joke that you've played on someone or that was played on you?
Oh, geez, man. Practical joke played on me.
Go all the way back to childhood.
Oh, man. Man, we used to, like, we were horrible, man. When we first started competing, like, we would, I've been on both ends of this, right? Like, when we went to tournaments, we would never tell the white belts this, but, like, we would draw, like, large penises on their foreheads and cheeks, chest and arms, and make them walk in the arena. And you couldn't scrub it off until it's time for you to fight. So you have to walk around for, like, an hour with a large penis on your forehead. And,
awesome.
When I first started competing with him, I had that was like, it's a rites of initiation. Like, you want to make it into the competitor club, you got to go through this sort of thing. And, when the first did it to me, I was shocked, like, fuck, this is what I got to do if I want to compete. But then when you get to do it to other people, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's good stuff. The flying penis squad.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3, if you could time travel one time there and back, which time period would you choose?
I'm very curious to see what Rome would have been like during its height. I think Rome is a very interesting, ancient history is very interesting in general to me, but like, I think probably Rome, during the heat of, the rise of Julius Caesar. I think that would have been a very interesting moment of history to be into, witnessing.
Definitely. No doubt. You would fit right in with that look, man. Let your hair grow out just a little bit.
Yeah, right.
You look like a damn gladiator. All right. Number 4, what is something that really irritates you? This past weekend.
Man, there are many. People, okay, that's an easy one. This weekend. People that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Amen.
And it's interesting. It's fascinating. There's a Bertrand Russell quote that I love, and it goes like this: "The problem with the world is that the intelligent people are full of doubts, and the stupid people are full of certainties." May not be quoting them exactly, but there's something interesting. There's something to be said about that. The less we know about something, the more opinionated we are.
Mm-hmm.
Like the thing that, I consider myself a jiu-jitsu expert, I don't feel I'm even close to mastering it or having all the answers. Like I still feel like a beginner in a lot of ways. It may sound like I'm full of it, but like the more you know something, the more you see the complexity of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of fighting, psychology for fighting, I've been in this business my whole game, and I'm just like scraping the surface. I feel like to see people who have never even trained feel that they know what's going on inside a fighter's heart is such a stretch, man. Like to me, it's funny. It's because people are so unaware of their ignorance. They don't even know how ignorant they are. And that's what's so interesting to me. But it gets pretty irritating at times, but I've learned how to brush it off, man. Trolls are pretty annoying too.
Yeah.
I have like some trolls, like I'm getting trolled like nonstop, right, this week. I bet. And then sometimes I just block them, just delete the comments, whatever. But sometimes I'll go like, hey man, I'm sorry you feel that way. I did what I thought was the best thing, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm just trying to do my best for my guy. And they're like, oh, you're still a scumbag. I'm like, well, man, there's nothing I can do about that. Maybe if you met me in person, you would change your mind, right? And then, oh, man, yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, you're a cool guy, man. Well, I've always been a big fan of yours, really. And then they immediately start changing. They just want attention, right? They're just like, please. It's like the equivalent of like women like showing their asses on Instagram. They just want that validation. Please acknowledge my existence.
Yeah.
Showing
their ass with an inspirational quote.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like some fucking philosopher they never read. It's times we're living in, man. Interesting.
It's bizarre,
times.
man. It is so bizarre. Yeah. I wish there was some kind of law to trolls, man. They have to answer to everything they say to the guy or the girl that they're talking shit on.
Oh, you can't win.
Because they're all cowards, man. They're all the exact same person. All right. That's an irritating thing for sure. Number 5, what is an item in your home that is special to you for sentimental reasons?
I got a few, man. I got a little museum at home full of my like stuff that I buy from all over the world, like things that you can't buy at Walmart or Amazon. Yeah. They're like souvenirs, really. Like if I go somewhere and I went to Dagestan or Kazakhstan or Japan or Australia, I try to buy something that you can't buy anywhere but that place. Like you have to physically be there. So someone breaks into my house, steal everything but my souvenirs. They're worthless to anyone but me. Yeah. Take the TV. Just don't touch my books. Don't touch my souvenirs. Everything else I don't give a shit about. Take the dog.
Yeah, dude, I love that kind of stuff. That's cool. You have that kind of collection. All right, last one, number 6. What accomplishment are you most proud of?
Being a father. Hands down.
Yeah, I feel you, man. It's a game changer, huh?
Nothing like it, man. Like it's difficult to explain, difficult to describe. It's single-handedly the best thing that's ever happened to me. As far as fighting goes, like obviously ADCC, my IBJJF black belt world title, haven't fought MMA. I'm proud of these things, but in a very superficial, vain way, I would say. Like, the love of a father for his children is, or any parent for that matter, it's something much deeper. It's not a vain kind of love. It's very, very deep in a different way.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. It's a life changer for sure once that first happens. I wish everybody could experience that crazy feeling, because the way they say it, everybody says it too. Like, you don't know love until you have a kid. It's true.
It's funny, man. Like I meet people that don't want to have kids. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't get that. Like, what do you mean you don't want to have kids? It's like the most incredible. I don't know, man. Like everyone's different, but I just don't understand it.
Yeah. I don't either, man. It's definitely something. It's definitely not a relationship fixer, but it's definitely something that's going to help you get some roots and see the bigger picture in life and all that good stuff. It's done nothing but good for me. So it sounds like the same for you.
Yeah.
All right, man. I don't want to hold you up. I know you got stuff to do, but I'd like to get you back on sometime. For the record, for anybody listening, I 100% stand with Robert on this past weekend, and I've told him that privately. And I love that you stuck to it, man. That's the best thing about it, because it's the absolute truth. And anybody who disagrees, you just need to educate yourself. So
I
So,
appreciate it, man. It means a lot. Actually, like when it first happened, I didn't see a problem with anything I did. And I started getting slammed the media and like bombarded with like hate mail. And I'm like, man, what is happening here? And then people like yourself and so many professional fighters and so many coaches and so many people that are informed, you know, messaging me, supporting me. And even if they're still the minority, I feel completely at ease with what I did, you know, because I never questioned what I did, but I was in awe of the repercussions of something that I don't consider to be anything out of the norm of what a coach should do,
yeah, it's
you know.
bizarre.
But it was bizarre. The reaction to me is still bizarre. Like it's gotten blown way out of proportion. But like having people support me has made a huge difference, and you know, giving me a bit of hope that it's not all lost. You know, people haven't gone completely stupid. You know, there's still we know we still have many people out there that can think and actually speak with authority and like understand situations versus drawing conclusions based off of headlines.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Chael Sonnen, Frank Mir, and Brendan Schaub all did a great job explaining it too from their point of view as former fighters.
Yeah.
And
DC, John Anik wrote me privately. A lot of UFC fighters wrote me. Paulo Costa wrote me. Like many guys wrote me and completely agree with the coaches. Many coaches, people I've never met. People like, hey man, you're the kind of corner I want to have when I fight. So, you know, it's been very positive.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Just brush off. I'm sure you're already doing it. Brush off all the stupidity. The people that have any brain cells, they know what's right and what's wrong in that situation, and it was definitely the right thing to do as a coach.
I appreciate it. It means a lot.
Real quick before I let you go, do you have anything you want to plug besides the documentary Closed Guard and the book? What's the title of the book?
Opening Closed Guard. Right.
Oh, okay, cool. More detail.
Yeah. But yeah, like invite if everyone's in Vegas, you know, we'll do some training over here. I'm in Las Vegas. I've been here for 13 years, and everyone's welcome. Come check it out. I do apologize to you for the short interview. Like, I'd love to spend more time chatting. It's just like my life is crazy hectic right now. I don't get a quiet minute. But we'll do this again. Maybe when the film is out, you watch it, and then you can give me your opinion, and we'll do this again. I appreciate it.
I would love to do that. That sounds great, man. Thank you for taking a little bit of time out because this week has been nuts for you, I'm sure.
My pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you.